Welcome back to another epic studio tour. Now, before we get into this, I just want to say one thing. Thank you. Seriously, embracing gratitude and how thankful I am. You know, we get to do these studio tours and they're so much fun. I love getting to go and meet all of these different creators, producers, artists, see their spaces. Now, you may or may not know this, but working in a studio can both be unforgiving, feel endless, and also satisfying and fun. So these tours are just a great way to kind of shine some light on people who are putting in the work and growing their thing and developing their whatever it is, whether it's production or an artist project or engineering or just their studio in general. So one thing, if you want to see more studio tours more frequently, do me a favor, leave a comment down below saying, yes, please, more tours more regularly. I just want to know for some feedback here on how much we're producing on this particular channel. As you know, we have this channel and then we have our Studio Time channel, which has all the stuff that's not studio tours. I'll link that if you want to check that down below. Today's guest is an artist, a producer, an engineer who also works a full-time job and is a father and a husband, putting in the real freaking work. Dominic Cosentino, which is one half of a duo called Wild Goose Chasers. It's a husband-wife duo. I'll put a link to them. You can check them out. We're gonna talk about some of the music that they make. We're gonna see the studio and how he produces and writes and captures music in it. It's a really cool spot in a detached garage that he converted into a full production studio. So I think you guys are really gonna like it. This video is sponsored by our friends at Sweetwater, so check the links underneath the video if you are interested in taking advantage of some fresh new discounts in the holiday season. Speaking of, the new epic drum recording video course that I made is now open and available. So if you want to improve your drum recording chops, you're not getting the sounds that you're looking for and you don't exactly know why, this course is designed for you. Epic Drum Recording. It's on my website, again, linked under this video. Now, let's jump into it.
So this is a studio that we started building about 2 or 3 years ago. It was a garage behind my house, 120-year-old garage. Tree had hit over there. There was all sorts of damage, tin roof, holes in it, and we said, hey, that looks like a good place to put a studio. So we did. So that took us a good summer of work, and finally we got this room right here. It's nice and soundproof. It sounds pretty good. We've got decent ceilings, so we're able to make some good music.
Yeah, I like that you kind of left it open here and put the, what's that called?
Beadboard.
Beadboard, yes.
Yeah. That's what drew me to the place, because there was a ceiling here that was beadboard. But when I got up there, I was like, hey, we can open this up and get a decent drum sound in here if we can get some ceilings. So that's what really kind of drove me to think this could be a good place, and it does do well with drums. Even being kind of a smaller room, you're able to put the mics in different places and get a bigger sound that's not all washed out. You have this whole back wall that's treated. You can play with it and get some good sounds out of it.
Yeah, interesting shape too, because it kind of opens up in the back for the performance area and has the higher raised ceilings, and then it kind of tucks down for the listening area, which is nice.
Yeah, with the shape too, another thing that was kind of advantageous to how weird this building is, when it got hit by that tree, like the whole foundation shifted, and from that corner to that corner, it drops like 6 inches, and all the walls are like not straight up and down. And like if you look at this wall, it tilts like 4 inches, 5 inches from the bottom to the top.
Oh, nice.
It looks weird, but it gets rid of all the standing waves.
Yeah.
So it
sounds great. Just might collapse any day.
Yeah, exactly. That's right. That's right. Yeah, sounds great.
Get in here and make a record while you can.
Don't step over there. I wanted to build a space that had elements of all the different things that you need to do as an engineer, right? You need to do mastering, you need to do mixing, you need to do tracking, and then at the core, I'm a songwriter. So I wanted it to be at a place that had a creative flow to it. And I'm not made of money, so you want to choose gear that kind of has multiple uses, but isn't like a jack of all trades. You want to have like really excellent hand selected things for certain things, but you know, I wanted to have things that would be both used for mastering or for mixing or contribute to the tracking and creative process. So I chose the mastering desk format because it's compact, and I felt like I had a cockpit to work from, and I could put all these instruments around me, right? So if I'm working on something, I can just patch something into a preamp right here, use the patch bay, throw it into whatever processing I want. I can throw it out to my pedals over there if I want, and it kind of keeps me in a flow state whenever I'm songwriting, whenever I'm producing. But when I'm mixing, obviously I can stay locked in here, and all of these things are assigned to inserts, and I can just pull them up like plugins in the DAW, patch them in however I feel. And then with mastering, you know, I chose some select things that really work well in mastering, like the tube core. It's a great piece of gear. It gives you that very smooth thing, but it also has super fast attack and release times, so it works really well on a drum bus or something. You can get really a lot of punch out of it. And then of course the master bus processor and this Custom Audio Germany mastering EQ sounds absolutely phenomenal. So between those pieces of gear and throwing in a bus comp, if I want to do a little bit of that too, I can master too. So all of these things can be used for everything from drum tracking to mixing to mastering, and that was sort of the philosophy behind why I picked the gear in this desk. I kind of bought into the RME thing. Previously I was a universal audio guy, but I love the RME sound. They're stable. They just feel a little bit more pro than the UA stuff. I know I might get criticized for that, but they just feel rock solid. So I got this, and it can accept up to, I think, 192 ins and outs. So it's crazy amount of expandable. It has 64 channels of MADI. It's got another 16 channels of ADAT, that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
So I got this Ferrofish to expand. So now I have an extra 16 ins and outs with that, which will allow me to have all the gear connected to dedicated channels at all times.
So that's the Fireface UFX Plus, and it's got some built-in pre's, and then you have digital ins that you're coming in from the Ferrofish, so you can use some Outboard pre's.
Correct.
And Outboard gear.
Correct. And it also has its own 8 ins and outs. So between the Pulse and the analog ins and outs on the UFX, I get, what was that, 24 IO easily. And then, you know, I can use it for ADAT. I've got my power play monitoring system on that, so that doesn't take up analog ins and outs, but I have mixers back at the wherever the musician's tracking, you know, so it gives me a lot of flexibility there. And then I also added, through the digital, I added this guy right here. So this is my mastering converters. It's a ADI 2.4 Pro, so it's got 2 ins and 4 outs, and they're higher quality. They sound really pristine. They sound really incredible. So I use that to do my mastering chain through, and I also send it out to the monitors, which it comes digitally from the UFX, goes into the Trin-Off, and the Trin-Off is room correction software, game changing by the way, and then digitally from the Trin-Off to the converters out to the Barefoots, and they just sound amazing. Dedicated output converter and master chain converter.
Right on.
Yeah. It was really a game changer. It's one of those things, everyone talks about it. It's not the sexiest thing, monitoring, but upgrading those converters, adding the Trin-Off, it was really just a game changer.
This is the volume knob for the...
Yeah, it's the remote for the UFX, but I have it set to control that as well.
Got it.
That's the other thing about RME that's really fantastic, is that everything is so unbelievably customizable. It's kind of like the opposite of universal audio in that way. It can be frustrating because you have to set things up, and it's kind of a pain in the butt. But once you get it set up, it's just however you want your workflow to be, you can make it happen.
Are you using any of this stuff to track through, or do you like to track clean and then mix through the stuff?
I usually lean tracking clean. But you know, things like snare, I know I'm always going to want to boost 8K on the 611, so I'm going to run it through there and boost a little bit of that. You know, there's a couple of things that, you know, like, I'm just going to do that. I'm going to run my close room mics through the SSL style compressor, this Gravity. It's really cool. Piece made in Spain. I'm always going to run it through there. You know, you have your go-tos. But generally speaking, I go clean because
Yeah.
you can always throw it back out. But there is a little bit of magic about preamp straight to gear before conversion. So whenever I feel comfortable, like I'm not going to screw it up, I'll do that.
Yeah.
I'll
It's
try
always a
with it.
fun gamble.
Yeah, it's fun gamble. That's right.
What's this MG2? Oh, Drummer. Is that an EQ? What is that thing?
Yeah, they actually
Or
just
MQ2.
They actually just came out with this. I use it as my drum bus crusher, like my parallel bus.
cool.
So it's got a 1-knob compressor on it. That's pretty awesome. But the cool thing about it is it has a 7-band Motown style EQ. So these are fixed frequencies. And if you hit this crush button, anytime you go above 0, it adds harmonics. So it's actually becomes kind of like a saturation as well. And I'm still getting to know it. I might use it for tracking too. I know like the limited options appeals to me for tracking. It's like, oh, I just want to boost a little bit of this or that if you stay in the flow state. But speaking of that, that's kind of what I got these louder than liftoff Mr. Focuses for. You've got just a basic bass treble kind of thing here, and then the chip that I have in these is a pull tech essentially. So you go this way, it gives you the kind of smiley face this way, go this way, it gives you a frowny face, and then you can add a little bit of drive. So tailoring something while you're tracking really easily, staying in that flow state, important to me. Obviously I'm a musician first, but having some fun stuff like this to shape sounds it's helpful, man.
Yep. The 611s are some of my favorites. I have 4 of those. Those are all over the drums, drum bus, and kick and snare. What's the ones in between there?
Yeah, and it's kick snare when I'm mixing, absolutely. These are really cool preamps. They're by Cush Audio. They're called the Electras. And man, they are so musical, super broad. They have the proportional cue, so the more that you crank it, you get obviously a tighter frequency boost or cut. But what I like about these is if you look at the controls, they're intentionally misleading. Like to get a lower frequency, you have to go up rather than down. And I think knowing the way that he thinks from his videos, he wants you to not see, he wants you to use your ears.
Right.
So it's kind of set up like that, and I love that. And I found that every time I use this on a new source, I'm like, I want to keep it on this source all the time. It just sounds magical. It's not transparent, but it doesn't impart too much. It has a sweetness to it that I've fallen in love with, and it's kind of living there. Another one like that is this Phoenix. I wanted to get pre's in the desk because all my pre's are over there in a preamp rack. And I don't really use these too much, but I wanted to get a nice pair of preamps in the desk, but in that spirit of having something multi-use, have the EQ or something where I can use it in mix phase as well. Having this right here, keeping me in the flow. I can plug synths in right here. I've got XLRs down there that plug into the back because it's a mic pre. This, I also like the Cush, have fallen in love with it, and everything I put through it I love. With this Audioscape, I swapped the tube out. I can't remember, I think it's an RCA that they put in there, but to me it was like too vintage. It was like a little bit woolly to me. So I put a new old stock Telefunken Black Diamond or White Diamond, whichever the one that's too expensive is. I put that in there, and gives it a little bit more of that euphoric CL1B sound rather than super woolly LA2A vintage kind of thing. Just for my workflow, it was like not pop enough. And I wanted to get like a pop kind of sound out of it. So after doing that, I feel like I get that out of it.
Sweet.
A super cool piece, also a newer piece, is this 25609. So looking at it, obviously it looks like a 33609.
Yep.
But what Stam Audio did was they did a little bit of a marriage with the API 2500 and the 33609. So it has all of the compression characteristics and some of the sonic character of a 33609, which they have different revisions here, which is pretty cool. You can get kind of like the new Neve sound or the older Neve sound between all these different ones. I think they're just kind of like frequency curves. But what they did was they put the type of transformers that are in the 2500. So it gives it that API mid-forward punch. So you get the compression characteristics of a 33609, but some of the sonic characteristics of the 2500. And I got it to be my drum bus compressor, but it's so good that it generally goes to the mix bus.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I
That's fun.
kind of fell for it a little bit. I play a little bit of everything. I'd say my main love would be guitars.
Okay.
Play a lot of acoustic. I do a lot of leading worship, adding a lot of electric guitars into my songs, things like that. So I've got the collection, got all the different tones and timbres that I want. So I've got this guitar. It's a fingerstyle, so it's got the wider neck, and it has a very like listen to me sound. It's super like grabs your attention. It's amazing, but it's not for every situation, right? So this is like if you have where the guitar is featured and you're not playing like chords, you're playing some sort of a picked part or something like that, and you want the guitar to say, listen to me. It's called Avenir, and there's this shop in Toronto actually that I got it at. They work with this guy in Singapore who trained under probably the most important luthier of our time. So my understanding, if I had his name, I'd tell you to go look him up. But you know, his guitars, if you wanted to build a guitar for you right now, they cost like 50 grand. So
oh my God.
That's the type of guy that this guy trained under. So he's building these guitars out of Singapore, and they are of that quality. This shop has, you know, all your really high-end $20,000, $30,000 finger style guitars. It's huge out in that region. And every time we picked up this one, everyone in the shop was like, this is the one. So yeah. I came home with it.
Nice.
And I thought it was going to be my main squeeze for everything.
Yeah.
But then like I started doing worship and things like that with it, and I was like, man, this thing is just way too star of the show, you know? It's just so zingy.
Yeah, I gotta ask you, can you strum something? I gotta hear this. You're the best guitar sound live. Let's
sure.
No pressure. That thing cuts, dude.
It cuts. It's complex too. It's got a lot of character.
How fresh are those strings?
Not as fresh as they sound.
They sound so fresh.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
No, they're not. Yeah, they're not. In response to me thinking that that was going to be my main squeeze, and it can be for most things that are like what I just played.
Yeah.
I realized I just needed a Martin. It's not here. I've got a triple O Martin mahogany body that it's not here, but it's sort of the like, it sounds mixed without even doing anything to it. So chords, that's what I got it for.
Yep.
This I have in Nashville tuning, so it's an octave up.
Yep.
I'd say that's a key.
I just noticed you got mutes on all the necks for obviously when you're listening.
Yeah, when I'm listening or tracking.
Right.
Yeah, I found that they resonate quite a bit, particularly being back in a corner, but I didn't want to move them. And then I've got this Copley. It's actually a guy in town. He went to Belmont. Well, he had them made for his company for quite some time, but got some guitars from him. They sound great.
Big boy.
Big boy. Yeah, this is a big boy, and it's also bright. So this is like rock, country. I want something. It's also chords like the Martin, but it cuts. Like if you have a big, dense mix, light, cutty sound, where the Martin's more reserved.
Yep. And all these guitars have like dedicated jobs that they do. For anyone watching who's like, I don't understand, why don't you just get one guitar? Like when you're building tracks, all these instruments do different things that sometimes just need to be one thing. Like you said, chords.
Yes.
You know, and they do that, and they do that the best.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Like a lot of this entire room and everything that I've done here has been in the process of me making songs and being like, I wish I could do that thing like that.
Yeah.
All of the gear decisions weren't just like gas, I want that thing. It was like
purpose.
All of it was purposeful, except for like maybe a couple of those guitar pedals that I didn't really need. I didn't need my like 15th drive pedal, you know, but you know.
That's the whole market of guitar pedals.
Right, that's right. 12 string, beautiful guitar. It's Ovation's like custom shop.
Nice.
Gorgeous guitar. And then a baritone.
Oh,
and I
cool.
want that like moody, smoky kind of thing going on. And the electrics are kind of the same way. You know, you've got your semi-hollow body, you've got your Strat, you've got your P-bass, you've got your kind of oddball Japanese 80 guitar. If you want something different character, you need a Tele. If you don't have one, you should get one. This is sort of gives me like Les Paul type stuff, but I'm not a Les Paul guy, so I got one of these.
Yeah.
It's awesome. This is a cool one, actually. I built this one myself.
Oh, cool.
So yeah, eventually one day maybe I'll start a guitar company, but my goal with this was to build a super Tele for worship. purpose, like what if I was gonna make a Telecaster and it was perfect for worship music? That's what this is. So I went Telecaster body, of course, but I went mahogany to darken it up on the body, and also kind of like the Wenge with the rosewood to darken up the sound. You have to have a floating trem if you're playing worship, of course. And then it has these strange pickups by Porter Pickups called the Ricochet, and they have a little bit of a TV Jones kind of sound to them, which is super, like it's like what's in the White Falcon, super popular worship guitar. It has that kind of thing to it, but it doesn't completely lose the Telecaster thing. And then I wired it like a Baja Tele, so you've got like all these crazy wiring options. I called it the Revelator because I thought that was cool. So you need a offset. I got this in Tokyo. Absolutely gorgeous guitar. You need a P90, and then you need basses. I got an active bass, the humbucker style bass, and a P bass over there.
Something I noticed is you've got mics right in the middle of the room here. Are these the Fentones? What are these?
No, they're actually, they're called Bash Audio BIV1s. So they're ribbons. They obviously look like the Fentones, or they look like Royers, but they kind of sit somewhere between a 121 and a 4038. And to my ears, you have to get in touch with some guy from Russia that makes them by hand, order them kind of thing. But they sound incredible.
So these are wides for anything with room, but probably drums mostly?
Yeah, we got a drum session going on today, so that's why the room's a little bit kind of a mess, wires running everywhere. I'll switch the room from different things. So obviously I've got all these guitar amps around. What I'll do if I'm in reamping day, I'll break down the kits, and then I'll pull the amps that I want to reamp with, put them into the center of the room, set up rooms, all that. So, you know, not ideal to have to do that switching, but that's how I do it. So with the rooms you mentioned, I've got these far rooms out here. I'm using the Eden over there as my kind of far room, mono room. It's usually my vocal mic. It's an awesome mic, almost impossible to beat in my opinion, because it does everything extremely well. But I'm pointing this up towards the ceiling to get me sort of a bombastic far room sound.
Now, what are you setting it to when you use it for this purpose? Because it's got a few different options.
All right, you call me out. I haven't thought about that yet. So. I haven't set it for today. This is actually a new idea. I usually use the Stager that I have up there, and I'll put it all the way back here for my mono room.
Oh, okay.
But I wanted to use the Stager for the bone mic and get that ribbon crushed sound. This is my first time trying to swap it up.
So for anyone who's not familiar with this mic, you've got forward, neutral, and gentle modes, which are basically like dark to bright and medium. You've got your high pass filter, which actually really changes the behavior of the mic. And then of course you have your polar patterns. So it's a tube condenser with such flexibility. And I mean, I'm one of those guys that'll switch stuff while it's hot and in the cans.
Yes.
And it makes such a crazy difference.
Especially the thing that I didn't realize when I first got it that makes an unexpected amount of difference is the high pass filter.
Yeah.
Because my understanding is that it comes before the transformer.
Okay.
So because of that, it really affects the way that the audio is going through the transformer. So whenever you pull out that low end, it not only takes the low end out, but it cleans the signal up.
Yes.
In some way.
Yeah.
So like if you really want that manly reference sound, you can get it using the low pass filter, but if you don't use a low pass filter, maybe it's a little bit more like a 800G or something like that. So and it has that level of quality to it.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's a finisher mic. Like when we put this on vocals, it's like Dunzo. Fader at 0, done. Yeah. It's crazy.
I take that, I run it through the manly, and then I run it into the Audioscapes, and it's just like, when it comes to mix time, it's like, what do I need to do? On the top there, I've got the Manly Core, which right now is on kick out, but I usually use that for my vocal go-to.
Yeah.
Those two paired up, it just does it for me. I find that the Manly sound is really like euphoric kind of to me, and I love it. It's what I do on vocals. From there, I've got this Focusrite ISA 220 that's been modded by Revive. Also sounds incredible. I think it sounds significantly better with the mod. It's not sterile. People will often call them sterile, but to me, when I put them in on a stereo pair, right now those rooms we were talking about are going through it. It's like holographic sounding to me. That's the word that I use for those.
Whoa.
And the thing that I like about it is that it has the impedance settings. So if you're using dynamic or particularly ribbon mics, that makes such a big difference. And right now I have it on high impedance because it's running with the ribbons. And then to me, this is probably the biggest sleeper warm audio gear that there is. You know, there's a lot of mixed opinion on their stuff. I share a mixed opinion on their stuff. I don't have a mixed opinion about these. These sound really, really good. Like shockingly
Those are
good.
like one of the first things they made, right?
Yes.
The full rack tone beasts.
Yes, they sound shockingly good to me, and they also have flexibility because you've got these amplifiers. The op amp really doesn't do too much, but then you have this output transformer, and they have different characteristics. You know, you get different combinations of these, and then the kicker is you can drive them to get the tone out of those, so you can get a little bit of different saturation characteristics and back off the output so you're not blowing your converters. Everything sounds great through them.
What do you got them on today?
Today I've got them on snare. I've got snare top, snare bottom. I've got the Audient ASP 800 for the price. Sounds amazing.
It's just extra pre's. Is that what that is?
Yeah, right now it's ride hats and toms.
Cool.
And then that far room's over here. Then I've got Cranbourne Audio, what do they call them? The Camdens. Also, pretty affordable, but I love the Mojo, particularly the cream. It just kind of adds this nice sheen to the top end. Right now it's my kick. I've got like a boundary mic in there and then a standard kick mic. So my two kick-ins are right here and then the kick-outs up on the Manly. The Cappies, obviously they're API kind of sound. I have them on overheads. Enough's been said about Cappy. They're amazing. They pretty much live on overheads whenever I'm doing drums, or like acoustic guitars sound great through them. The Neve, of course, you've got there on snare top today. Similar to the Focusrite, I love ribbon microphones, and I find that the impedance makes a huge difference. This AEA preamp has some ridiculously high impedance, like 100,000 or something like that. It's like when like a normal preamp's at like 1,000 or 500 or something. It really makes ribbon mics come alive. I have this on the Crush mic over there, the Stager.
Nice.
Yeah, those are great. I think Stapleton uses them on his amps. I think that's the one that he uses. I don't know, but they're made here in Nashville. They've got that dark, moody ribbon sound.
What are these stereo mics here?
Yeah, those are the Advanced Audio 251s. They are made in Canada. I've actually met them before. I've gone out there, visited them. They're in British Columbia, and for $1,000, probably the best 251 clone you can get. I will switch this stereo pair, those ribbons, and then these are also Advanced Audio. They're their 414 clones. They kind of, depending on what type of music I'm doing, I really, really like the 251s on overheads. Yep. But they just can't, like if we're doing a more aggressive music, they choke. Yeah. So it's 414s today. We're doing a kind of a more upbeat pop track. So we've got the 1973 by
amazing
Soyuz.
Sleeper mic.
Sleeper mic.
It's so good on everything. Every time I put on something, I'm like, oh, that's what I use it for now. And then I put it on, I'm like, oh man, it sounds great on there too.
I did use it a lot on electric guitar on a reamp day. I did last 2 weeks ago, and it did sound fantastic. Snare, I've got on top the TG201 by Bear Dynamic, famously said by Steve Albini that if an SM57 was a real mic, it would be a TG201. It does sound amazing. I love it. Lives on snare top. Also guitar cabs. On the bottom, I've got the 545 Unidyne, and I'll switch them if I want a different sound. And then this guy is the Austrian Audio OC7. It's their small diaphragm condenser in this kind of instrument mic format. I like getting a condenser mic on the snare as well. Gives me another layer to add in. I was using these, the Soyuz 013s, which are some of my faves, but they were a little bit too tubby for the snare for me. They have too much low end to them for a small diaphragm, so they've kind of moved to hi-hat for now. Today I'm actually doing drums for me and my wife's project. We recently launched our artist doing music together. We're called the Wild Goose Chasers. We are working a album that goes through the life of Jesus, and we kind of use all the different genres to express the emotions of that journey, right? So today we're tracking drums for a couple of new releases that should be coming out soon. The whole album's gonna drop in May, but we're dropping EPs like every month or every other month or so, and singles in between. So follow us The music's coming. I do some work for other people, but right now I've kind of done less of that.
Yeah.
Because I also have a job. Actually, I work in tech. You know, I've got that job. I've got 2 kids.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing this album, and I'm doing all of it. Like I'm tracking it all. I'm writing it all. I'm playing all the instruments.
Yep.
I'm not mastering, but I'm mixing. So because of that, I kind of set this year aside to push this album across the finish line. I do have a track that I'm doing for someone in a month or 2, but right now we're pushing really hard to do that. After that's done, yeah, I'll take up more gigs producing for others. That's probably what I prefer to do, mixing and producing. I like the songwriting process. I like seeing someone's kind of little egg in the nest come to be a full song and help them find their signature sound, help them do something that's beyond what they could imagine, right?
Sure.
Like give them an experience of, hey, we can get strings, we can do whatever you want, you know. Let's think bigger. Let's try to manifest the fullness of whatever vision you have that you were maybe thinking too small. That's one of my favorite things to do. So.
And then you play guitar, so you got a bunch of amps, of course.
Bunch of amps.
Some good ones too.
I do have some good ones. Yeah. Trial and error, but I've landed on some ones that I really like. I've got the Dr. Z Maz Jr. NR, the first revision. I think it sounds the best. It's the most simple. So there's like the least amount of stuff, super pure signal. Mm-hmm. That cut knob, you can kind of go from a blackface Fender kind of sound to like a AC 30-ish kind of sound. So it like kind of fills that general space for me. I've got a Fender Deluxe. Everyone knows those. I did a couple of changes to it because I think they're kind of woolly by their very nature. So I put a V30 in there, and it just makes the amp come alive. I put Electro Harmonics tubes to also make them a little bit brighter. This is a super cool amp. I bought it off of a guy who, I think he bought it for his kid in the 80s, and it sat in his basement for 40 years.
Is it kind of like a chorus?
It is a chorus. It's a Roland Jazz Chorus 77.
Nice.
And I took it to my tech, and he said he's never seen one like this.
It's got tiny little speakers in it.
Yeah, it's got 2 10s. And the cool thing about it is that it was made in America, but it's got the Japanese speakers in it, which is kind of like a
cool
Goldilocks zone. But it sounds amazing. Being a 77, it has a 4th EQ band for ultra highs, so it works really well with the Wurlitzer and keys. Like I'll reamp keys through it all the time, and that analog chorus that's in there, it's probably my favorite pristine clean sound.
Yeah.
Bass, I pretty much run everything through this.
That's with that cab too. That's so sick. What do you mic it with? Bass is such a funny thing with mics.
Yeah, I'm still experimenting on what my go-to is. I've done.
Are you going for more low information or like mid?
I've been putting 2 mics to get a little bit of both. So I've been using the Stager back like 4 or 5 feet.
Cool.
And that gives me a really beautiful bloom.
Yeah.
And then my go-to so far has been this guy. It's a 60s
421.
Yeah. And it gets the mid cut out of it. So yeah, this gives me that SVT sound, and it's kind of like a hack, honestly, man. The drive on it, Bad Cat, Hot Cat, it's kind of their hot rodded matchless sound. Sounds awesome. Goes everywhere from nice cleans to full blown metal if you want. So this can be my kind of high gain machine if I want it. Match it with all sorts of different pedals. The Mesa Boogie split cab. Top is open, bottom's closed, so it gives me more options. I put a creamback Alnico in the top. Sounds phenomenal. Probably my favorite speaker of all time. This is a cool one. This is a 1962 Ampeg Gemini that has both a guitar and accordion input, which, playing a lot of accordion here, as you would imagine. But it sounds amazing. It's got a 15-inch speaker on it, probably the best tremolo on an amp or off an amp I've ever heard. And it just does clean amazingly. I had my tech add a master output knob back here, so nice. It really doesn't get dirty unless you dime it. But when you dime it, pull the master output back, I can get a nice edge of breakup tone out of it. This orange also kind of lives in that space for me. It's an 8030. Sounds really good. It's got that vintage orange mid-range fizzy drive to it, which I use sometimes, but it probably has the bassiest, thickest cleans I've ever heard. It gets a lot of use in that way. And then just a couple of cabs, man. That's the guitar rigs. You kind of catch all my bases, multiple clean tones, multiple drive tones.
I see we got the kit here, and then you got a like a smart producer, a grip of extra snares here.
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
even some extra cymbals, I would imagine.
Yeah, I've got quite a bit in the way of cymbals.
Oh,
Here's
yeah.
2 cymbal bags here, there's a 3rd cymbal bag there. I've
Yeah.
got a lot of the heartbeat stuff, and they got a lot of the guys that were making the higher end Zildjians.
Right.
Now they make the heartbeats. They sound awesome. I love that 24 Epic Ride. Yeah, I got a lot of their stuff. I have a lot of Meinl stuff as well. I like the Byzance stuff, particularly these jazz crashes are phenomenal. On the drums, we've got the Star Classic kit. It's kind of my go-to pop rock kit. And then I've got this PDP Concept Classic, I think they call it. I think it's the coolest kit PDP ever made. They're great value in general, PDP, but this is kind of their top end kit.
Nice.
But it has wood hoops all around, and I use it as sort of my vibe kit.
Sure.
And it does that extremely well for me. Snares, I kind of, as a guitar player, somehow developed a snare problem. I don't know if it's like there's a lot of moving pieces on it and it just like gets that side of me going, but I love snares. So we've got the classic Superphonic, other PDP. This is their 25th anniversary acrylic.
Whoa.
And I got this on a flyer, man. I had a gift card and it went on clearance on Sweetwater. And I was just like, I don't have an acrylic snare. Sure, let's do it. Bro, this thing shocked the heck out of me. It's
Nice.
become one of my favorite, like big, like doosh, like kind of sounds. It sounds incredible.
Yeah.
Way punches above its price.
Nice.
That's kind of like a junky snare that I put stuff in for little rattlies. This is a cool snare. This was displayed NAMM 2023 at the Canopus display. Made in Japan. It's an ash snare with this peacock purple finish. Really great snare, really great sound. Love it. It looks really sexy too. Got the Tama Big Black steel snare. It's a bad boy.
Sweet.
It's the trash can, you know what I mean? It sounds great. Got a couple piccolos. I've got the piccolo on the kit over there, which is a DW Collectors from the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
I actually met the guy and have become friends with, who was like production manager in the 90s and early 2000s for DW. And we actually did some snares together. This is one of them. But he said he made that exact snare, not the physical one here, but the same everything about it. And it's the snare, like he delivered it to Pearl Jam in LA and they recorded Even Flow with it.
Nice.
So like that sound, it's that snare.
Nice.
So he confirmed that. In that line, we started working together on some of these drum restorations. This is a 60s Slingerland that working with the same guy, his name's Ori. He's got his own drum company. They're called Ori Bonds. Really cool, really high-end boutique stuff.
Yep.
We took this 60s Slingerland snare, recut the edges, outfitted it with new hardware, and wrapped it in Babinga. And it sounds awesome. It's a really killer snare. I've got a pork pie. This is sort of that Travis Barker sound. This one right here, like straight down the middle. This became one of my favorite snares. A little known company called Allegra. They're handmade in Oregon, or they used to be. And this is a super cool snare, man. I've got the vintage thin Aquarians on it. It's got its own thing. It does its own thing. It has a character that I love. It sees a lot of work.
Nice. We just went through a big giant drum course where we tried to just hammer out the concept of like the sound is the thing.
Sure.
This is why people have so many things. It's because you want to get straight to the sound. It's like this does the sound, does almost all the work.
Right.
And then your job is to capture it correctly and not screw it up.
Yeah, I think maybe that's like why I got into snares, because as a guitar guy, like tone. It's like that's the character of the record. As a guitar player, they're like, well, that tone, man.
Yeah.
But then you get into producing songs and looking at it holistically, and like, yeah, guitar tone's big, but like snare, man, like that really is part of the vibe of a track. So having all of these options, different ways to process it, it's like I want to be able to pull something a little bit unique or perfectly tailor fitted for that track. And again, as you can see, similar to the other things, it's not like I've got like 30 maple snares.
Right.
Like they're all very different.
Yeah.
Very intentionally diverse.
Yeah.
This is a cool snare. It's a 60s George Way. Believe it or not, I found this at a local music shop, and I hope they don't watch this, but I got it for 25 bucks. And they go for like $1,000.
Yeah.
This is actually the lug design that Camco bought, that later DW bought.
Nice.
And like, so this is like the origin of the DW lug design.
Nice.
These old George Ways, which I think they just like restarted a couple years ago. Someone
cool.
bought George Way. But yeah, this is like a maple gum snare, 6 lug, real vintage, duddy, kind of my swamp snare when I want that.
Nice. Well, we'll wrap it up here. I just wanted to ask, I see you got the O2 Barefoots here. These are the Mark 2s or the Mark 1s? Gen 1, Gen 2?
It would be Gen 1. I bought them, like, I pre-ordered them. Right when I was gonna buy the O1s.
Yeah.
And I was like, they might be too big for my room. And then these came out. I was like, perfect. Bought them.
How have they been?
They're amazing, man. Like I was saying before, I used to run multiple sets of monitors.
Yep.
But there's no need. I mean, like, I get everything I want. Between those, the meme technology, you know, you've got the NS10 sound, the Avitone sound, hi-fi stereo sound.
Yeah.
I use this as a mid-side matrix, and I've got a mono button here. It's like within 4 inches, everything I want to hear is like right there. I don't need another set of monitors. I don't need any more controllers. Boom. I can hear whatever I want, whenever I want, and I get everything I want out of them, man. They're fun.
That's killer.
They're exciting. If you want to get in touch, the best place that I engage at all on is probably the Wild Goose Chasers Instagram.
Cool.
But you can also find me on Facebook, just my personal Facebook, my personal Instagram's Living Face to Face, if you want to follow me.
Sweet. I'll put some links to this stuff and Wild Goose Chasers down below. Thank you for showing us around. This place is awesome. I will let you get back to the session.
Yeah, appreciate you.